I was asking you about the AstraZeneca resuming the
Yes.
Oxford vaccine trial just a short while ago. This, of course, has happened only for the UK at the moment. But do you believe India too now can restart trials?
I think so. India had stopped trials based on what had been said by AstraZeneca regarding the patient in UK. We have not found any such side effects in our study population as of now. Therefore, we can restart the trial immediately in my mind.
Right. The other, vaccine which is making news, of course, is the Covaxin, which is our indigenous vaccine. Animal trials have been successful in Covaxin. What's next for India's vaccine candidate?
So India's vaccine candidate has to go through the phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trials. We need to do it as early as possible. That's already being done. Once these are done and we're able to show that this vaccine is safe, it's effective, it gives good immunogenicity, and then when it's given to a large number of individuals who are then exposed to COVID-19, it protects them properly, then this vaccine can actually be sort of manufactured in a large amount and then be provided to Indians on a priority basis.
Right, but how big a development is it for an animal trial to be successful? Is it very routine for animal trials to be successful and then not work out as well as far as human trials are concerned?
So the first step is always to look at animal trials. It gives you a lot of sort of safety signals and immunogenicity signals without exposing humans to that risk. So you have to have good, robust data in terms of safety and immunogenicity from animal trials. With that data only will you get permission to start human trials as far as the regulatory authorities are concerned. But then when you do it in humans, there are a lot of other challenges because obviously each species is different. And secondly, you also have challenges in terms of the dose that you have to give. It may vary from what you're giving in animals to what you need to give in humans. Do you need one dose? Do you need multiple doses? So that's why human trials then become very, very important subsequently.
All right. Dr. Guleria, we're going to try and do an FAQ section with you on the broadcast this evening. A lot of viewers have been sending in a lot of questions and a lot of them are repeated questions over weeks. So I'll just begin by asking you one of the the big questions that's been asked time and time again. When will it be safe to reopen schools and colleges? The Health Ministry this week issued guidelines.
This is a tough question. I think once we are able to see that the number of cases has significantly come down in the country or in that region, then you could think of reopening schools and colleges.
Another frequently asked question, can you contract COVID-19 from food items?
It's very unlikely that you will contract COVID-19 from food items. It's important that you should wash food items like you normally do. And once you've done that, you must wash your hands properly with soap and water. But it's very unlikely that you will get infection by eating or consuming food items.
Right. So you're saying essentially now with restaurants opening, if people are ordering food or are going out to eat, it's safe to eat food outside. You can't ingest the infection and it can't affect you.
Correct, but you can still have the utensils may still be infected, and you have to be careful about that.
So it's the surfaces you need to be careful about, not so much the food. How do you sanitize raw food?
So normally what the data suggests is that you don't need to really put it in any sort of disinfectant. If you are to clean it properly with warm water, that's enough, and then you should let it dry for some time, and you should wash your hands after you've done this so that while you're doing this process, you don't get any infection in your hands. That's the only thing that is required.
Right. Can steroids help in the treatment of COVID-19? The World Health Organization had said that there are some cheap steroids that have proven to be effective.
Yes, so in moderate to severe cases, steroids actually decrease mortality. And there is what is known as a recovery trial, which showed this definitely, that in those patients who needed oxygen or those who had more severe disease, giving steroids like dexamethasone, which is very cheap, it's not a very costly steroid, actually decreased mortality significantly in these patients. And therefore, not in all patients, but only in those who require oxygen or those who have severe illness, steroids actually are very useful.
Right. There are several instances of people who, despite coming in contact with positive cases, are testing negative. This is happening a lot within families. Is the RT-PCR 100% accurate?
So RT-PCR is not 100% accurate. There's no test which will be 100% accurate. Depending on when the test is done and if it is done at the right time, RT-PCR may have an accuracy which may vary from 70 to 90%,
Right.
because it depends how the swab is taken, how the sample is transported, how it's tested. But it is has a sense. It is usually 70 to 80% accurate.